Probably 8 out of 10 people will write a business plan simply because they need it to raise money. Okay, so one of the strongest reasons why people write a business plan is to use it as a medium to raise funding. Now, we got to go beyond that, but let's just talk about that for a moment, which is the fact that if you're going to write a business plan, it needs to be a solid, high impact business plan. That's like a must. It's got to tick the right boxes. So I'm going to give you two types of business plans that you might want to make a note of. Two types of business plans. The first type is what I call the comprehensive business plan, and the second type is a PowerPoint business plan. First type is a comprehensive business plan. The second type is a PowerPoint business plan. So let's talk about the PowerPoint business plan first. The PowerPoint business plan is, as the name suggests, is a business plan that is written on PowerPoint, and each of the slides will have no more than 5 to 7 lines of bullet points in it. So I suggest leave it as 5 maximum, sometimes even 4. And it will have in it, it should have like 10 slides. The first slide will be your information about the plan, your name of the business, logo, and contact. The second part will be your background, your business background, why you think you're qualified to write the plan. Then you go on to third one could be the market opportunity as you see it. The fourth one could be your team, and it goes on and on like that. So you use 10 slides to detail those plans. One of them could be, of course, how much money you want to raise. Another slide could be the costs and the profits. Another slide could be how you plan to promote the business. Another slide could be your experience in the marketplace and the experience of your team. Another plan could be the amount of money you've invested in the business. Another slide could be the payback period. Another plan definitely should be there is one that talks about the risk assessment, how you plan to reduce the risks. So you have a 10-slide plan, and you can use that plan when you want to raise money from family and friends. So we'll talk a little bit more detail in that when we look at family and friends. At least we'll talk about it again because it's important to look at. Now, the second type of business plan is what I call the comprehensive business plan that should have, somebody says, well, how long should a business plan be? Well, a business plan should reflect the amount of money you're seeking to borrow. So if you're seeking to borrow $5,000, well, your plan could be 10 pages. If you're seeking to borrow $25,000, your plan could be 25 pages. If you're seeking to borrow $50,000, your plan could be around about 35 pages. If you're seeking to borrow $100,000, then your plan should reflect the amount of money you're trying to borrow. So a comprehensive business plan will have 5 major parts in it. The first part is your executive summary, which is a summary of the whole business. It looks at your background, the team's background, the opportunity, as you said, how you plan to make money, how much you've invested, how much you're looking for from the investors, how you're going to pay back. Just a summary, that 2-page summary. That 2-page summary is the first part of the plan that investors will read, and if they're interested, then they go from there and read the rest of the plan. If they're not interested, if you don't catch them on that first 2 pages, you miss the point and they're unlikely to read the plan. Okay, so that those 2 pages, people suggest you write that last. Okay, yeah. If you're new to business plan writing, absolutely, definitely, you should write that last. Okay. So now that's the first part. That's your executive summary. Second part is your marketing plan, which you'll have in it your research, lots of your research. You've looked at your competitors. You've studied them. You've looked at your market, past, present, and future. You've looked at your SWOT analysis. You've tested your product. You've That's where the work is. There's the marketing plan. Then after the marketing plan is what I call the operations plan. How the business is going to operate. How it's going to operate. It's going to be a sole trader, a limited company. What kind of company is it going to be? Is it a sole proprietorship as in the US, and LCC as in the US? What's it going to be? What kind of courses do you need to go on? How are you going to exhibit your product? Are you going to attend any exhibitions? Are you going on training courses? Are you going to what kind of insurances do you need for the business? What kind of banks are you going to have for the business? All kinds of accounting stuff could be there, and that's just your operations. Then finally, then two more. Then the fourth part is your financials, which is how much is all that going to cost? How much is the marketing plan and the operations plan going to cost? And that is to be reflected in the financials. And I suggest that if you're doing a new business, you should have at least a 12 months cash flow forecast. Sometimes they require 24 months, but let's do a 12 months, and you should have the first year's profit and loss account. Okay. Then finally, you'll have your appendices. In your appendices will be your CV, letters of intent, letters of recommendation, okay, and any other information that you think is too bulky to be placed in the marketing plan or the operations plan or any other part of the plan. You put it as an appendix. So your plan has got to be solid. It's got to have impact. It's really got to grab the attention of the funders. Otherwise, guess what's going to happen? They're going to turn it down and say, no, we're not interested. I've seen people's ideas being rejected on the basis of a horrible plan. That's all. The idea is good, but the way they've written it and tried to communicate the idea is just terrible. So the funders are going to just reject it based on that. All right. So let me recap on some of the things that I've said. It's got to be it must be well researched. Your plan must be well researched. So don't skimp on that. You got to do the work, or all aspects must work together. Meaning, especially how does the marketing plan dovetail into the financial plan? It's got to just work. It's got to be like a glove on a hand. It's got to work quite well, because if there's a discrepancy between what you're suggesting in your promotional activity in your financials, then they're like, okay, you said you're gonna take out 5 ads, and the 5 ads cost £1,000 each. So that's £5,000. But when I look in your business plan, it says you're only going to spend £3,000. So what's going on here? You don't want them to start picking up on stuff like that, and they will pick up on it. Okay, it must be well presented as well. Check your English, check the spellings, make sure it's been read and reread and is presented very well. And if you do that, you will have a very strong, high impact business plan that ensures you raise the money that you need.